What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Lounge, man. So today I'm doing something a little different. I want to do a live breakdown of a commercial that I did with SleepNumber back in 2021. Something I never broke down before. This was actually my first commercial I shot, actually, that like ran nationally for like a big brand. So it was definitely nerve wracking. I just remember like being a lot of pressure. But I had like a crew with me that I trusted, and it helped kind of like, game plan and helped me go into the project confident. So I wanted to break it down. There's one particular shot that I really liked, in-camera trick that I did that I want to show, but I'll break down pretty much every setup that we did. The specs for the shoot, we shot on my red Scarlett W for the A cam. I did a lot of handheld work with my Easy Rig, and then we had I think it was the red Komodo, like kind of right when it came out. We had that on a gimbal. We didn't have anybody pulling focus. It was kind of like run and gun. Some of the gear that I used my Surf Magic Pro dolly, Easy Rig, like I said, and the lenses that we actually shot on was one of my go-to lenses that I like using on commercial shoots. The Zeiss Super Speed Mark IIs. They're vintage lenses. I believe that they were made in like 1974, something like that. Super clean glass. They go down to 1.3. If you have like a rental house locally and you have a nice glass, like a vintage glass, like a Zeiss Mark II Super Speeds or anything like similar, I would definitely say add that in the budget when you do commercials, or when you're doing a spec project and trying to like level up, because it's a really great time to just use a way more expensive glass that you're not used to, especially if you have a commercial budget that you can add to the item, the bottom line. Anyways, what we're gonna do is watch the commercial first, and then go through it and talk about some of the setups that we did. So this is stock footage that we got from the Chiefs. This was a gimbal on the red Komodo, tracking shot. This is a setup that we had. I'll talk a little bit about this.
The guys feel ready.
Push in the slider with it a little bit. And all the football stuff that you see cutting in and out, that's footage that was provided to us by the Chiefs and their media team. And they do a great job. They shoot on Alexa Mini. They shoot on Alexa Mara. This was one of the setups that we had. Pretty super simple, to be honest with you. But you just gotta have a game plan going in. You know what I mean? We knew that there was gonna be graphics, VFX on top or whatever.
It's the MVP of my life.
Again, stock footage.
We always have one or two players who struggle with sleep, whether it's because it's a
tracking. I really felt like the Komodo matched well with my red Scarlett. You can't even tell the difference.
We're going to try to do everything that we can to put the best tools in front of them.
Some B-roll stuff that we got real quick at the end.
So we get back to the Super Bowl. That's our goal every single year.
This was a cool shot. Opened up the door, kind of let natural light come in and kind of silhouette her.
The data from the SleepNumber 360 smart bed gives us a competitive edge.
If you look closer, you can see my boy Mike in the mirror right there.
Goals that we want to reach, and really measures it out. It's a great way to figure out how well did I sleep. And I give that
a little out of focus, but that's cool because they still used it.
Able to be tracked.
And then the rest is just stock footage from the Chiefs. It's really dope footage, honestly. And I think it all matched really well. That was something that we talked about, will the red match well with the cameras. Oh yeah, and we got this shot. We'll break this down.
Why is that? It's because
this is the shot right here that I really want to talk about.
Making sure that you're doing some muscle recovery, and the second half is going to be making sure you're doing your mental recovery. Waking up rested, ready to go.
And that's it right there, man. You got like, I don't know what, 30 seconds of just some
they feel like they're getting
stock
the sleep
footage.
they need, or at least they have the tools to make sure they get to sleep on a regular basis. They're right there.
Dope footage right there.
That season about to pound to the start. They're ready just to attack it, ready to go.
And then bam, logo, which makes it like, oh, that's official, boy. Look at that. Yes, sir. That's a SleepNumber commercial. All right, cool, man. So that was the commercial. I think it was like a 60-second spot. They cut it into like they also cut um, a 30-second spot. So yeah, man, let's talk about it, bruh. So I mean, this stuff is just blocking, just like going into okay, what looks the best. You know what I'm saying? How wide do we want to be? So on site, we had a producer, we had a brand person from Sleep Number, Tiffany the talent, and we had Tiffany's rep from Sleep Number, and then we had probably like a 8-person crew maybe. But yeah, I had my boy Mike who first AC'd, and I think he cam opped as well on the gimbal with the Komodo for this shot. Super easy, super clean. This was also gimbal, and then this was a push in with my SERP Magic Pro slider. So there's a slight push in, and then just had her look up, and then I believe that was handheld right there. But I think we maybe added some neg or like I might have added like a diffusion or like a opal right here to soften up this shadow, or maybe like a bounce. I can't remember what I did for this, but typically what I do if we're shooting exteriors, I'm adding some type of diffusion from the sun just to soften it up a little bit. In the past, I've used like half soft frost, which is like really thin, really thin diffusion. I'll use like the lightest. I think it's diffusion, like a fourth grid or something like that. Some neg and a bounce. I don't think I did all that because we were under like time constraints, but I might have added some neg right here for the shadows. And like if I had time, that's what I would do. I would add neg right here. I'd have somebody Hollywood a 4x or maybe like a big 8x or something, and then I would just diffuse that sunlight and add a bounce right here. For this, I think it worked out. I don't know if we had time to do it, but that's what I would typically do. And so let's see if you scrub through gimbal work as well. Gimbal work was dope. So this was like a super easy setup. What I did was, if you can tell, we have light coming through here. We have some light coming through here. And then on this part of her face, this is like really shadowy. So I put I put a 4x floppy over here to cover this window, just to add some shadow, just add some contrast, so that the key was coming in through here. And then I had a 600D aperture 600D blasting through the window to kind of create this edge right here, if you see that. But if you look if you look close to in commercials, this is kind of like my wide establishing shot. When you go into the close up, that's when you can like literally get closer with lights or add neg or switch it up, and that's exactly what we did on this one. Now like you can tell something changed. If you're like looking like as a DP, you can tell there's something changed. But really, if you're an average viewer, you can never tell, and that's what commercials like. Nobody really cares. So if you can see right here, there's an edge right here, and all I did was remove this 4x neg on this side because I was running out of time. Literally, we were like 2 minutes left, so I'm like, I go handheld. I'm kind of like rushing. I'm like, okay, take the neg off here, and really, honestly, I probably would have wanted to shoot from this side, but it was just a lot easier to come on this side and shoot because I was just kind of running out of time. But it still worked out because we have some contrast here. We have shadow, we have a key, and then we have a backlight. And so I say that because I'm always trying to shoot shadow side, like always. If you shoot like with the light, I think they call it upstage or broadside, it just looks really ugly, and it's just not like, that's just not the look that you're going for. So I'm always trying to create some type of shape, some type of shadow. So on this one, it was kind of run and gun. It worked out. I just let some natural spill from the light come on here. That creates that edge. I had the 600D here, which creates a backlight, and then we got some contrast. And really, this was a product shot. You shoot products the same way you would shoot, a talent interview or whatever. You have contrast, you have edge, and you want to shoot shadow side, just like an interview, or just like, and that's what we have right here. We have key light or an edge. We have contrast. Same thing, close up. I just went in. Zeiss Mark II Super Speeds. You can see how sharp they are. We were kind of wide open. And then on this, open up the window just a little bit just to get that, if you can see, that little bit of flare. And that's it. I mean, honestly, with stuff like that, it's super easy. You just blast some type of lamp into the window. It looks super natural. It looks like the sun's coming up. And the 600D is not extremely powerful, but it was powerful enough for this. And your job is done. You just add some neg, shoot a lamp through the window, and it looks good. Get some flares, clients are happy, pretty much. That's that setup. Okay, so right here, bam, I'm going to break this down. I actually got some BTS. So that's how we broke this down. Check it out now. So the whole room is just filled with ambient coming from like a set of windows at the top. There was like a bunch of like 3 windows coming in. And so what I like to do is like I come into a room and I'm like, okay, what's the easiest way we can light this? Especially for stuff like this. Like, we don't have a ton of time. And so you don't want to fight against the light. Use the natural light to your advantage. And so that's what we did. What we want to do is just like, okay, turn off the lights. That's the first thing you do. Shut off the house lights. See where this natural light's falling in. And then play off of that. So we just want to elevate what's already there. And so my solution was, okay, let's put some levels. Let's get her levels up, her exposure up. And I tried a couple different things. I used the light panels. I don't know how you spell it. Light panels 6x Astra. That's what this is. Light panel 6x Astra. And I wanted to use like a bounce board to bounce the light off, because I just like using a bounce light. It just softens it a little bit. But it was a little bit too harsh, a little bit too sourcey. And so I use my diffusion. And that creates not a ton of bounce, but just this bouncing, and it's going like you're going to use diffusion to shoot the light through the diffusion. But you'll get a little bit of bounce off of the diffusion, which is super soft, and that's what was key in her. And I used a floppy to neg the light off the background. I'm always trying to separate the key light. Not always, most of the time, depends on the situation. The key light, man, this is all messed up. So I have a floppy here, controlling the spill so it doesn't hit the background. I have a key, and then it's the same principles for pretty much everything you're going to shoot to create some shape, to create shadow, to create a key, so she pops out the background, or whoever it is, the talent, that's what you're trying to do. So you have neg here. It's another floppy, and then my 501 reflector just for some more neg. So you have shadow here, and I'm shooting shadow side, always shooting shadow side. Right, this setup is we're getting a bunch of like over the top footage of products in her hands and stuff like that. I don't think that you ended up using this in the commercial, but essentially that's my lighting setup. And then I'm pumping a bunch of red right here. I have my Aperture Nova P3. How do you say that? P300C. I think that's called. And then I have like 2 Titan tubes. Pumping red. This is the what room is that? It's where they take what do you call that? This is where they have the hot tubs and ice baths. So we're shooting. I knew that we're shooting like back into the room, and so I just pumped it with red just to add some, something dynamic. And just to look at that again. Look at that. It just looks natural. Like, it looks natural. It looks super, super duper natural. And that's what you're going for. You know, you don't want it to look super lit. The levels on this, on her face, are similar to the background levels. And that's what, like, you sell. That's how you can sell it to be real. If now this was super dark back here and this is what super lit, now it's like, man, it looks lit, you know, it just doesn't. But like I said, I'm using the daylight coming in and I'm just upping her levels just a little bit to make her stand out. And then we have contrast, and then we have a little edge just from the bounce of the wall coming in right there. And we have red just so she pops out, and just to add some team colors, dynamic, super simple. Super simple. And you can use any lights that you have. You know, another way you can light it is what I would probably play with. Like if I was doing this today, what I would do is I would probably today I would probably have the grip team build a huge diffusion 8x8, and then have something blasting through that, like a 600D, or maybe like even the same light panels. And then on the close-ups, I would come in, and what I would probably do is add another 4x diffusion just to soften her, and then add some more right here, some neg to control that spill. If I had like time and a crew, but we didn't, so this is how we lit it, and we got the same exact result. So I mean, my point is, there's 1,000 ways to skin this cat. Like, literally use, you know, the gear that you have, the time that you have. It ain't about like making things look big. I mean, some clients, you know, want their sets to look huge and stuff, but man, if you can get the look, you know, you'll get hired. That's it, you know. So don't even stress about what you have, what you don't have, and stuff like that. And then this is something, man, that I really want to talk about. So this was one of my main talking points that I wanted to show. So this, let me try to stop it. Boom, right there. All right. So this is what we call a day for night shot. Day for night. You're shooting during the day, but you want to make it look like night. And how we do it. So I knew that this was going to be like talking to the producer. I knew that this was one of the most important shots. So I had a game plan. Okay, what are we going to do? We don't have a lot of time. Don't have a big crew. So what we did was I had my guys get on a ladder, and the room was upstairs, so that was another challenge. Get on a ladder and block out the sun coming from this window. And we did an okay job. You can see a light leak right here. I think I brought trash bags. That's how you know it's super duper low budget. And the trash bags I brought was like small as heck. You would typically want to at least get like a big Home Depot black plastic to put over these windows. We didn't have that. But again, it looks like it's almost sunset. It can be night. Nobody really cares. We accomplished that. We blacked out the windows. That's the first thing that we did. Both of them, both windows. And then the next thing we did was, this was the big trick is, what you see, the color in here, we have blue. We have a blue kind of like nightlight. I did this all in camera, and it's an in camera effect that you can do when you're trying to do day for night, or in a lot of different situations. I just did it last week on a different shoot. The camera Kelvin, the white balance on here on the camera is 2700. That creates a daylight room that's 5600 night, you know, whatever. That creates in camera a blue effect. So everything is blue. So that's how I was going to sell this day for night shot. And what we did was we had a Titan tube. I literally had my boy Isai standing on the shelf inside right here, holding a Titan tube right here. And the Titan tube was a lot warmer. I want to say it was probably because it's like it was probably like set at 3,000. And so that's why this looks it's more keyed to the camera, and so this looks more balanced here. And so I had we said action. I had him standing right here, and I had her acting like she was turning off the light, and when she did, he would just turn off the Titan tube. And that's the in-camera effect, because if she wasn't coming out the bathroom, it would just be 2700. That's easy in camera. Then we had to add another light to make it look like it was like a warm, light bulb in there. So we had to go super warm on this Titan tube and to match the camera's white balance, if that makes sense. And that's how we created this in-camera effect. It was super effective. It looked exactly how it does now. They just punched in, contrast or whatever, and made the colors day easier. It sold the night effect, the day for night effect. And this was, I don't know where I picked up this trick from, but this is a trick that you can use, and you can use this in a gym. You can use this, but you have to set the camera, Kelvin, to something super blue, and then you have to set your key light to the camera's Kelvin, and then now you have that effect. But anyways, it was one of the most, something we had to pull off, and we pulled it off, and I was like super happy. And then we had a close up. We had to do a close up of her getting into bed. Look how clean that is, man. Like, bro, like that looks like this is movie magic. My boy is sitting on the counter, and it looks like boom. You know what I mean? Just look at that, man. Look at it. Look at it. So inspirational. So this was a close up that we shot, and what I did was I wanted to lift up. It was a little too dark, and when it comes to exposure, I'm probably about a stop and a half or 2 stops under exposure, which is okay. I didn't want to go too low, because you can't really bring those shadows up sometimes. But I wanted to underexpose just a little bit in camera. I didn't want it to be too bright. I didn't know who's coloring it, but the colorist can literally dim it. You just want to make sure you have enough dynamic range to go up and down when you're doing like night shoots. So expose, I'm probably a stop or a stop and a half. If you don't know what that means, look it up on Google. Wandering DP on his website has a chart where he talks about the light levels and stoppage. Excuse me. And it's super important to know when it comes to when we talk about exposing. So if middle gray is exposing, and if you overexpose, that's like you go 2 stops, 3 stops, that's overexposed. And if you underexpose, it's just kind of important to know. It's kind of hard it's really technical. But anyways, I was a little underexposed on this, but I wanted to bring the levels on her face up. And so she had a roof that was, man, how do you call that? What do you say that? We really used Titan tubes on this shoot. That's all we lit it with was Titan tube on the roof, and then that Titan tube in the bathroom, flicking off the light. But anyways, this probably was the most I had to think through, lighting setup. It really worked. I was super proud of it when we did it. It was my first time, trying to do something like this, and I thought it was pretty dope, man. Little stuff like that, man. I get geeked up about. And I think that's it, bruh. Let's see. Yeah, all of it. The rest of it is just, you feel me? Bam, Sleep Number. And then now you get the Sleep Number logo. You can use it on your reel. It gives you credibility. Now, if you have another person that doesn't know you do commercials, they see that, bam, oh, dang, that's a Sleep Number. That's what you do it for credits, for credibility. It gives you a little bit of clout. 1 day shoot, not that big of a budget, and then bam, now you have something on your website that looks official, and you know what I'm saying, on to the next one. People trust you to do more. You feel me? You feel me? And so yeah, that's the room. That's my boy Isai. That's my guy that was standing there. That's my boy E. That's Tiffany. That's my boy Nick. And this was the room. Like you can see, it's a high room, second story room. And I mean, I didn't get it. So this is what I was trying to talk about. This right here. We put a Titan tube right here. I literally can't think of the word of the vaulted. Oh my goodness, man. A vaulted ceiling, duh. So it was a vaulted ceiling, and we just gaffed a Titan tube right there and keyed her right here, just brought up the levels, and that was it for that. And I had my slider pushing in right here in position, and that was that look, man. And I got a couple BTS, I believe, just a couple. I think we showed this already. You can see the red pumping in the room. You can see a little bit more. I have my Titan tubes in the background. Komodo, Easy Rig, and my boy Elron doing sound. LaRon, my boy Mike, my two guys, man. And like I said, look at these small trash bags, bro. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you look back and it's like, bro, what was I thinking? But, you know, we did what we did, man. That just goes to show, to be honest with you, bro, it's like, it's not even about, like, you know, that right there is like a national commercial. You know what I mean? And it's like not just, you got to do what you do what you can with what you have and wherever you're at in your career, you know. When I got done with this shoot, it was like high stress for me. I was like super kind of nervous. But when I got done and we killed it and I felt good about it, I'm like, man, we got everything we needed to do. It just gave me confidence. I was like, bro, we just shot a commercial. You know what I mean? And so moving forward, I was like, wasn't nervous going into the next commercial and the next big thing. It was like, once you get past a threshold, it's like you've done it. You feel great about it. Now you know you can do it. You have it in your arsenal, and it's up from there. You know, to be honest with you, you have it on your website, and it's like, boom, you know, and that's, so once you get one in the bag, it's like, okay, then other people see that you've done it. Like when producers and directors go to your website, it's like, okay, damn, we can trust him. He just did that. And you just kind of stockpile them. You just need to get that one under your belt. This was my first commercial. I thought it turned out really, really cool, man. Super, super proud of the team. Couldn't have done it without my squad. And, you know, I'm really big on, our whole crew was black and brown. And so I feel like, you know, once I got my foot in the door, it's a lot easier for me now to open the doors for other people. So I'm really, really big on that. People of color specifically. And so, yeah, man, this was a really cool, and a lot of us are young, you know what I'm saying? So it's really, really cool to accomplish this with my friends that were coming up with me. And, you know, we've done other things after this. Even this was a lot of times their first commercial. And so it's like we all did it together. And now it's like they can move on and have the confidence. I can move on and have confidence. And so that's it, man. If you guys have any other questions about this commercial, let me know. I mean, I think I talked about pretty much everything. I'm going to do more commercials. I'm going to do more breakdowns like this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think it went a little long. I don't know. But until then, holla at your boy. Peace. Thanks for hanging out with your boy in the lounge. This video right here was actually a shorter version of a longer version that I have up on my Patreon. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I go a little bit more deeper on the business side as well as some of the setups. Also, if you sign up, members also have access to a private Facebook group as well as exclusive content to things like day rates, how to choose your day rate, what to do when to go freelance, just some tips and tricks that I learned coming up. So if that sounds like something you're into, you know, check it out. If not, you know, stay locked in with your boy right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.